In this video today, I'm going to speak about ancestors. And I know some of you are already thinking, oh, now she's speaking about the devil. Please stay until the end of the video because I'm going to explain to you who ancestors are and why they're important to us and what is their role really. And why is it that somebody would go out of their way to teach you that your ancestors are evil? Science says this, and it has also proven that within our genes, we have what is called DNA. And DNA is like a memory bank. You know, the hard drive of a computer? It's the memory that cannot go away. 33% of that DNA comes from you, 33% comes from your mother, 33% comes from your father. And within your father's DNA, there's 33% of his mother, 33% of his father's DNA, and 33% of himself. And so is your mother. And within your parents' DNA, there's 33% of their fathers, mothers, and themselves. So this goes on and on and on until the first person in your lineage. And that person got their DNA from the Creator, from the source, from God. So because you're connected to your ancestors, it means you're also connected to God. So if you want to know God, you have to go through your ancestors first. You carrying their memory, their conquest, their victories, their pain, their suffering, their trauma, their success, everything that they went through. You are carrying it within you, within your DNA, within your genes. But we are taught that our ancestors are evil. We are taught that we must never acknowledge them. We must never talk about them. We must never do anything for our ancestors, because if you do that, that is devil worshipping. They say that now that you have adopted their teachings or their religion, then your ancestors have to be cut off from you. They give you a book and say, this is God. But in order for you to know God, you have to go through this book and know all the people in that book, and they are all dead. They understand that you cannot know God without knowing the people who came before you. But when you do that in your bloodline, they say that is devil worshipping. Mind you, in our vocabulary, in our languages, we don't even have the word worship, because worship has to do with something that is outside of yourself. They give you a book and they teach you, because that's not who you are. That's not your God. Your God is within you. You carry the memory of God. All the attributes of God that you can think of are within you. You carry the pain, the suffering, the trauma, the shame, the bitterness, the anger of your ancestors. And you also carry their love, their support, their generosity, their kindness. It's all within you. So everything that your ancestors experienced in this life, you carry it within you. You can easily remember by just going within you. Who teaches babies to be selfish? Teach kids to lie. Ancestors, genes, DNA, it all depends on the kind of life that your people lived. They teach you to forget your strength, your power. They took the bones of our ancestors and they are lying in glass caskets in museums in Europe because they don't want you to remember. They took away the bones because bones speak. They took the bones so that you forget your great ancestors, their conquests, their victories, their strength and their power, where it lies. They keep those bones to remember that this man is great and so are his people. They remember that this is the only way to keep what we took from them. They remember through the bones that we have to continue with the legacy of our fathers, to exploit you, oppress you, and to keep your land. They don't want you to remember that within you, you carry masses of ancestors. And there's another kind of ancestors that most of us don't even know about, or you don't acknowledge, or you didn't even know that they are ancestors. There are certain beings and entities that were created to look after humanity. That is their sole responsibility. They protect you, they light up your path, they will fight for you. They are warrior entities. We call them angels, mangeloyi, ithunywa, because they have to focus on you to make sure that in this life, you live your life accordingly. That is their sole responsibility. So when we pass on, we go to the other side, to the fifth dimension. We leave this three dimension that we're living in, and then we meet up with those ancestors. So as you are standing here, you're not an individual. You're standing with many. You're standing with their power and their strength, their guidance. But they want you to forget who you are. They want you to forget your ancestors. They say to you, that is the devil. So what does that mean? It means they're saying you are the devil because you are your ancestors and they are you. They're saying your God is the devil because you are your God. They want you to forget, not to remember that your ancestors did great exploits. They built pyramids in alignment with the stars. They could look up in the sky and tell the time and communicate with the stars. They used to speak with animals and plants. They did great things. They invented things. But they don't want you to remember, because when you forget, you become powerless. You can be manipulated and exploited. You can be easily controlled. They can lie to you and you will believe. They remember that you are the first and the original. They don't want you to remember that you gave to all the cultures of the world, all the peoples of the world. You gave them culture, music, architecture. You gave them engineering, science, medicine. The list is endless. They don't want you to remember. They want you to think that they gave it to you. They don't want you to remember that they came from you, that you've been here and you've done great things. They say you must forget about them. They come from monkeys. But yet, they remember their ancestors in many ways. They name their cities, their towns, their airports, buildings, everything after them. They build monuments all over the place so that they don't forget. But they want you to forget because they don't want you to remember what they took from you. They want you not to remember what you have built, what you've invented. They don't want you to remember that you are carrying God within you, that you are God. You are the God of this world. They don't want you to remember that your ancestors fought, they died fighting, and that you have to continue with their legacy of fighting. They give you their things. They want us to be like them. As the saying goes, if you can't beat them, join them. We see people joining them because they think that I can't get out. This is the way it is. I have to be like them. And that's what they want you to be. By forgetting your ancestors, you start to imitate them. And we know that imitation brings limitation. That's the reason why we're still at the bottom of the food chain. Because we are imitating. We are limited in our thinking, in our ways. We are limited in everything. We can't compete with them because they are themselves and you are not. They don't want you to remember your greatness, that you have ability, you have talents, you have spirituality that is not like them, where you can easily live the way you want to, control things, control nature. They don't want you to remember that. They say the bones are the devil because they know that with the bones you can remember. Your ancestors are within you. Your ancestors are you. Without them, you are nothing. Without them, you can do nothing. Without them, you will never have nothing. It is only through them because they are now sitting with the Creator. They have all the answers, they have all the knowledge, they have all the information that they can easily pass on to you, but they can't because you choose to forget. You choose to be like them, you choose to believe a lie. If we say we want to get back everything that we have lost, we want to repossess, we need to go back to the past because ancestry has to do with history. So if you don't know your past, if you don't know your history, there's no future. The future lies in the past. So we are given the gift of today in order to correct the mistakes of the past, in order to learn from the past, in order to draw from the past, to be able to carve a future for ourselves and our children and the next generation. So I hope that this video has been life-changing for you. Catch you in the next video.